Talk about do get hit.
Hearing of citizens' comments. How are you, ma'am?
I'm just fine. I've been kind of missing council. Too much bad weather.
Don't forget to sign in and tell us who you are.
I am Hessie Watts, and I live on Santa Fe Trail, the famous town of Boonville. I just wanted to tell you that twice last month, I about got run over and killed on Santa Fe Trail. I was crossing the street. I was going from my house across the road, and I had gotten almost past the road, to the middle of the road, and I was getting ready to step out, and a car stopped. She was about this far from me, and I just looked at her and I said, I hope she wet her pants, because that was pretty scary. I just picked up the stuff and went home. And this week, I back into my driveway because I can't see the street if I back out. This week I drove out into the street, got to the middle line, the yellow line. Here comes another car and almost hit me again. I did not see the car coming. They come off of Sumbart, and when they hit the road, they hit on their pedals, and across the road they come. And it's just damn scary. And something's got to be done. We've got to have more signs. The police do all they can see. I see them quite a bit lately. But it is just scary. I can't even go across the street or drive out of my driveway without having to worry about getting hit. So we're going to put up our signs again and hope that we can get a bunch of people to do their signs too, because it's just scary. And on top of that, I would like to say thank you to the street department for the cleaning of the streets. Santa Fe Trail is one of the first ones that's cleaned. And I know they were out 3 benches after it got started going. And I really like to thank them for that. That was very good. And they took care of the street the rest of the time too. It was snowing. So have no control, have no qualms about saying thank you, street company. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take the paper with you.
Anybody else? Any corrections to the minutes, January 21? And they will stand as submitted. Consent items. Consider pay request number 3 from GloveCon in the amount of $25,032.50 for remodeling City Hall upstairs. Any questions or comments? Item B, consider pay request number 2 from Rod Baker Construction in the amount of $138,603.10 for Hale Ridge parking lot. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I make a motion we approve both consent items.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Is everything going as scheduled out at Hill Ridge?
Yeah, it's pretty much done. It's just, I think all that's left is painting and a walkthrough, right? Yeah.
So we did about half the gravel. That's the plan for this phase, correct? And then future we'll do something else
We'll do the other half, yeah.
at some point. Do we know when the timing is on that?
Well, I had hoped to do it next year, but the roundabout's probably sucking up most of those funds, so it'll probably have to move to the next fiscal year.
Fair enough, thank you.
That's the Main Street, or that's the one up by McNally's?
Yeah, yep.
That's right, the other one you wanted to do is also Main Street. Okay. I have to keep,
There's only one roundabout.
I know.
I don't want more than one right now.
I don't know, you know, there's 2 dreams, but there's only one getting done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Roll call.
roll call, please.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Presentation of accounts and claims.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on February 3rd, 2025, the sum of $365,387.41. General fund, $121,034.19. Sanitation, $40,454.85. CIP tax, $13,491.43. Waterworks, $105,724.69. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $75,498.56. Tourism, $5,622.69. Gaming, $3,161.00. Parks and Water, $400.00. Kimber sales tax, $0.00. Economic Development Project, $0.00. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $365,387.41, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on February 3rd, 2025, read for the second time this February 3rd, 2025, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I move we approve this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Passes. Item 8, new business. Item A, accept Mayor Beach's recommendation of Susan Meadows for Ward 2 councilperson.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Okay, I'm gonna make one comment. It's gonna be nice to have you back on the board. You and I sat next to each other for a couple of years, and I always found that you had great thoughts, so anybody that votes no, look out.
I don't think we gotta worry about that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Nicely done.
I have to,
She's gonna swear in.
so do I
Go
just
on.
go
Yeah.
to the front?
Yep.
Right?
Oh, okay. You get to,
You don't need any assistance, do you?
no.
Okay, good.
I couldn't help you anyway.
Okay, so please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications prescribed
that I possess all of the qualifications prescribed
for the office of which I have been appointed by law,
for the office of which I've been appointed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of this state
affecting cities of the third class
affecting cities of the third class
and the ordinances of said city,
and the ordinances of said city,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in the office of which I have been appointed of City of Boonville, Missouri.
in the office of which I've been appointed for the city of Boonville, Missouri.
Okay, you're back in.
Yeah.
Deja vu. Yeah.
Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item B, consider resolution R 2025-03, approving an agreement with the Missouri Department of Economic Development for CDBG grant.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri authorizing and approving an agreement between the Missouri Department of Economic Development and the City of Boonville, Missouri pertaining to Community Development Block Grant CDBG program and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the City of Boonville applied for the CDBG funds to support the renovation of Academic Hall to be used for child care programming, and whereas the City Council approved resolution R 2024-10, approving and authorizing the application for funding and committing matching funds for the project, and whereas the City of Boonville has been notified that their application was successful on January 9th, 2025, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain agreement between the Missouri Department of Economic Development and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to the Community Development Block Grant Agreement, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A, is attached hereto and made a part hereof is hereby approved. Section 2, that the mayor and the city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution will take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval.
Questions, comments, motion?
Mayor, make a motion we approve this resolution.
All right,
I'll
thank you.
second.
Got a motion and second?
And then Kate, can you give us a general overview of this CDBG grant?
Yeah, so this is the one that we wrote to assist with Academic Hall, which is to be used for childcare facilities. So if you remember, this is not the first time we've gone down a grant road to help. Primarily, this is helping to fund the shortfall that has been created with just the inflationary cost of building that we accounted for in 2018, but not quite enough. So, as I said, there's about, give or take about a $2 million hole on this project in addition to the other projects that we said we're doing also costing more. So I've been trying to close that gap a little bit. So this $500,000 is gonna help close the gap.
All right, thank you.
What's the total cost of this project?
$6.3 million.
And so this is a 50-50 match, or
Oh,
this
no.
is a,
Well, they're giving us 500,000.
okay.
We're putting in the 5.7 million. So,
That's great.
And the sales tax on Kemper has expired.
it has expired.
So how much of that 6 million is coming from that, and how much is coming from general?
Nothing from general per
Or
se.
wherever else it's
It'll
coming
come
from.
from gaming, use tax. I am backfilling now that the use tax in the next couple of years, like I said, we were backfilling parks and stormwater. So I haven't quite worked through all my numbers yet, but we're probably gonna be about 3.5 to 4, and I'll have to backfill that. This will be, get us another 500, and then the rest will have to come from gaming, use tax, parks and stormwater, and other sources, CIP.
So what ramifications if this doesn't pass are there? Are you gonna try to find that money somewhere else, or are we on the hook for doing this 100%?
We're on the hook for doing this project, but I would also say that we're on the hook because this is what we told the voters we were gonna do in 2018 when we did the sales tax, is to renovate Academic Hall for childcare use.
And to reiterate, it's because prices on everything have went up.
Yeah.
That's why we're not meeting
Right.
budget. Okay.
Yep, yeah. So,
How confident are we in the 6 million?
I feel good about it.
Okay. Do you think it could be a little high, even? A little conservative?
It might be a little high. So, this number was revisited I had them confirmed prior to submittal of this grant. So I felt good that it was still the same. I mean, I do think there might be some money to come down on that, as we finalize the plans and see what we have to do. But Yeah.
Oh,
And I think just so you know, as a timing, this is probably, this whole year will just be spent probably in design, so you won't even see any construction occur probably until the next fiscal year, towards the very end of this one.
so $6.3 million, was that something the engineers came up with?
Yeah.
Nothing's been bid out or anything?
Nothing has been bid out, no. So maybe it'll be less.
Hopefully. I think it's good.
I can hope.
Is there any additional grants we can pursue, or?
Well, so, for this project, probably not, but that's in part why I'm trying to go after the next CDBG grant to help
With the
bite down with the roundabout. Cause then, again, it just helps in the pots. I mean, there could be some, I think that what there might be is some spaces where we maybe have to partner with the Y on doing some different fundraising, like if there's something particular that we think could have some private fundraising, you know, there's an opportunity for that. I do think it's a worthy project, and I know this is a big ticket, but for Susan and Ned and Steve and some of the people back there, we've been sitting on Kemper since 2001. And in the long view, this is pretty momentous. Again, I know I keep saying that in the next 3 to 5 years, all the buildings could be full or demoed, I think is really something to celebrate, because I don't think that was what we thought. And, you know, there were times where we talked about bringing in the bulldozers and taking them down, which of course has its own costs as well, and obviously not 6.3, but it has its own cost. But I do think that this is a lasting investment in our community that will pay back later. So it's a worthy project. It's just, it's caught up in some things that were beyond our control.
Do you remember what we bought that Kemper?
500,000.
Oh, was it 5? I thought it was 250. Okay. Yeah.
And no, you bought 500 and then you turned around and sold the president's house for 250,000 like the
Okay.
next week.
So everything else we got for
Yeah.
250.
Yeah, you got 250,000 square feet of old buildings. So anyways, it was a big hole left in Kemper. I wasn't here in 2001, but again, for people that were here, I think it was a big loss, so.
This also has a nice fold from the way in which labor has changed, childcare has changed over the last decade. The Y does an extraordinary job with their kids program, and this gives them an opportunity to expand what they're doing. So it's we're getting at the financing, but from a community standpoint, and an ability to support the number of kids that are needing daycare. This is a good project. It's really strong. And I don't get to vote unless you guys do a tie, so you don't have to wonder. Any other questions? Good question. Thank you. Got a motion? Got a second? Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
No.
Young,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Susan, Meadows.
Thought I was. Yes.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Elbert,
No.
Venable,
Yes.
What is it?
It's passed.
Yes.
5-5?
Yeah, 5-7.
Okay.
Was it? 5-1. 5-1.
yes.
5-2.
Drew Whitney and those three.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I was watching the numbers.
Reports of standing committees. Are there any? Reports of city officials. Mayor, I have nothing further. City administrator?
I just put a memo on there in the back. I think it's on page 41. Just a note, again, we're quickly approaching the end of budget season, so the next session will be water and sewer. I will also try, just so you guys can see, I'll probably have the capital spreadsheets done. We won't particularly talk about them. We'll talk about water and sewer capital. Well, we won't talk about the other one, but I'll let you guys will have them so you can see what we're planning on doing this year and where the money's coming from. And then just a reminder that the next council meeting will be on Tuesday, February 18th, due to the holiday.
What time does the work session start? 6?
6.
City clerk,
Nothing.
city councilor,
Nothing.
Economic developer.
economic developer. You the man.
Good evening, council. First of all, what you have in your packet is an overview of the items I discussed with the BCDC board. So my plan going forward, unless you give me direction otherwise, is to come after the BCDC meeting, which is the fourth Thursday of the month, and then brief you on what we discussed. Accompanying these two sheets that you have in your packet were 50 pages of information that went to the BCDC board where we discussed in length all of these items. So, of course, if you have questions about any of those things, I'm happy to answer them, but I'd like to establish a cadence of coming after. I have to kind of summarize everything up for them and then come to the next meeting after, if that is okay with you. And I don't have to have the answer right now, but that's my plan. Let me first start by saying that the City Hall staff have been incredibly patient with me and been very kind, as well as all the city staff. I mean, down to cleaning the windows of the car I needed to borrow to go to a meeting in Tipton. So the staff here is awesome. I know you know that, but gosh, it felt so good to be well taken care of as I move back in to these duties. I've kind of split this report out into several sections that would be commensurate with economic development activities. So you see attraction there. We did submit an RFI that was on the Kemper Place Park. That was for Project Magneto. The other projects that you see listed there were, at least through G, were sourced from the Missouri Partnership. We had no qualifying sites that were sufficient enough to support those projects. Retention activities, when you interviewed me for the position, I told you the things I would start working on would be baselining where we were on a variety of things, as well as reconnecting and socializing with all the stakeholders. And so many things you'll see on here are exactly that, where I'm reconnecting with stakeholders. So retention activities, no expansion activities. I've met with some entrepreneurs. Workforce development is an area that is a scaffolding effort for economic development activities. So I've begun inserting myself back into those connections. Housing development. So as you recall from the work session that we had, affordable housing is a key thing in support of our economic development efforts. So the 353 project that we spoke with, which is item B under 6, certainly I've met with that developer. I need to follow up and see where that is, but that developer owes us a plan. I also spoke with the developer of Boone Point. That's one of our housing development folks. Community activities, you can see the various and sundry things that I've done there. And then I also just gave some other items of interest to the BCDC board, as well as talk in section 9 there about other matters that may come before us. I will address that in meeting with our manufacturers, the availability of childcare is probably number 1 on their list, which is relevant to the project you just discussed a little bit ago. And anyway, that and affordable housing are the 2 biggest factors that they talk about when I meet with them now. That's a choke point for them to be able to access a workforce. So you have any questions I can answer? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Public Works Monthly Report, December 2024.
It's just in the packet.
It's in the packet. Any questions on it? Okay, any miscellaneous? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Steve. Second?
Yeah, second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, stand up and leave.